So another day, another GTA 6 mapping concept. It seems like these are coming thick and fast nowadays. In today's video, that's exactly what we're going to be getting into. But if you guys are new to the channel, welcome in. Please consider subscribing to Project Vice, like, and of course, turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upcoming GTA 6 upload. Now, getting straight into this map, all credit goes to Scenarios on the GTA 6 mapping Discord server who came up and devised this mapping concept, which is absolutely awesome. Credit as well goes to GTA Infinity who covered this map in detail in a previous video. So shout out to him as well. Otherwise I wouldn't have been made aware of it. So getting straight into this map, before we even hop straight into it, it is very different compared to the other mapping concepts that we have seen thus far on the Discord server by the mapping project team devised by Dupsaw. We've seen the mapping concepts from him, version 0.051, and as well from Giannis, one of the other mapping concepts as well that we have seen within the community so far. Now this one is a pretty cool one because some of it is confirmed based off trailer 1, 2, and the screenshots, and some of it is speculative based off the September 22 leaks that we did see. Do take this more with a grain of salt compared to the other mapping concepts, I will say, but it is still a really awesome GTA 6 map. So what we're going to do is going to work our way from the top half of the map to the bottom half of the map. So first of all, we're going to start all the way up to the top here. Now you probably noticed that this map compared to the other mapping concepts doesn't actually have the Florida Panhandle, which is particularly interesting. Now we have up the top here in the northern part of the section, we've got Skinwalker Trail, Mount Caliga Waterfalls, Abandoned Mine Shaft, and Abandoned Town, as well as the Cascades Inn. I didn't see these in particular in relation to the September 22 leaks. I'm thinking that maybe this could be just speculative based off what we have seen thus far within Mount Caliga National Park and the surrounding areas in real life in the vicinity of this area in the upper part of Florida. That's the only thing I can take away from that. Obviously, we have Mount Caliga National Park, which is obviously a confirmed location based off what Rockstar Games has shown to us, which is absolutely awesome. We also got, apparently there's a little lake that runs from down here to all the way into Red Hill. Now Red Hill here is a location that we have not seen that's been confirmed on the GTA 6 website whatsoever by Rockstar. This is from the September 22 leaks. Now according to the leaks, Red Hill is apparently located in the northern western part of the map, as we can see here near Mount Caliga National Park, overlooking the surrounding landscape. Early information based off the September 22 leaks suggests a remote rustic mountain town potentially surrounded by forests or even featuring a nearby mine, which we do see that is further up from here up north, that being the Abandoned Mine Shaft. So that is Red Hill right there at the moment, which is interesting, and unfortunately we don't really have that much to go off about it other than the fact that it seems to appear to be based off the leaks that it is close to Mount Caliga National Park, but nothing much more than that at the moment. We have to wait to see if Rockstar will officially confirm that when we do get closer and closer to GTA 6's release. Now moving on here, we're going to get to the upper right hand side of the map, and that is up here where we do see St. Joseph. Now St. Joseph was a location that was found within the September 22 leaks. According to it though, apparently it's located northwest of Seaview, another unconfirmed location, which I'll get to in a moment, which is a part of a different part of the map on this mapping concept compared to the one devised by Dupsaw. More on that in a moment. Making it one of the most northernmost locations in the Vice City region. It's rumored to be a small rural town with historic roots, hints point to classic American architecture and a peaceful setting. That's all we know about St. Joseph at the moment. This appears to be a little suburb on the GTA 6 map. Once again, unconfirmed. We don't really have that much other than this is an unconfirmed location. It seems that this is quite speculative based off what has been mapped out here. It is particularly interesting though because it does have like a sand area here. Does this mean that we might be seeing a small little beach in this area if this does formally get revealed by Rockstar and we do see it being included? Like I said, that's why I go take this all with a grain of salt. It is just a concept, but it is interesting nonetheless that this has been thought of within this mapping concept. Anyways, further down from St. Joseph, we have Serra Station here. Now, this is a particularly interesting one because this is another location that we did see within the September 22 leaks. It seems to be a parody version of the NASA space station or the JFK space station within Florida. So I think that is what Rockstar is going with here based off what the leaks suggested. I would love to see some type of NASA space station parody within GTA 6. A lot of people have predicted and theorized that we may be going to space within GTA 6. I think that is quite unlikely. However, what I think is likely is potentially, maybe, this is just me speculating here, I do think that we may be seeing some type of rocket space liftoff or something like that, or space launch, rocket launch, something along those lines Rockstar may play into within GTA 6, whether it's like a side mission or something along those lines, I think is quite likely. So moving on from Sarah Station, down to the left, we do have Leonard County Forest. Now, Leonard County is going to be one of the counties featured within GTA 6 alongside Mariana County and Kelly County. Down from there, interestingly, we do have Waning Sands, which I'll get to in a moment, but apparently Leonard County Forest and just Leonard County in general appears to be one of the counties featured within GTA 6 based off one of the GTA wiki pages online, and what we did see within trailer 1 as well. It seems like we already seen the Leonard County Sheriff vehicles driving through the Waning Sands area within trailer 1. You guys will probably remember when Lucia and Jason are escaping police law enforcement. When they drive past, it appears to be a mall to the right. You do see some Leonard County Sheriff vehicles passing by, going in the opposite direction. So that looks like we are going to be seeing, whether it is this area or somewhere apart on this map, that being Leonard County being featured. Within GTA 5, we didn't see too many different types of counties. Obviously, we did see up in Sandy Shores, we saw the police department up there, and then obviously down in Los Santos, we saw the police department there as well. But it seems to be in GTA 6, there are going to be so many different types of police departments and counties, which is going to make everything so much more realistic and immersive. And having those different types of counties is going to be something that I'm actually particularly happy to see. So a little bit more on Leonard County. Apparently, it's going to be located in the southeastern part of the state of Leonida. Based off what we can see here, it seems like Sarah Station on this mapping concept is located in a different part. Not quite sure why that is the case. Apparently though, Leonard County appears to be inspired by Broward County, Florida in real life due to the similarities in its naming, as well as liveries for the Leonard County Sheriff police cars being identical. This is interesting. The liveries used by the Broward County Sheriff's Office. So that is a very, very cool, interesting fact that we do know about. A small little detail about Leonard County. We're going to be moving on from that, and that Waning Sands, one of the other suburbs within GTA 6, is going to be featured further up from Vice City. So moving on from Leonard County and Waning Sands, towards the left-hand side of the map, we got another location that was based off the September 22 leaks. That's unconfirmed once again, and that is Bohemia. And next to that, apparently, we also have a theme park according to this map concept. Interestingly, the location of Bohemia within the mapping concept devised by Dupsol, that being a 0.051, the latest version from him, is that Bohemia is located all the way up here towards the potential Florida Panhandle area up in this direction here. In that mapping concept, it's much more located closer towards Yorktown to the right hand side of it, and I'll bring it up on screen so you guys can see. I guess, like I said, it is quite speculative and theorized based off what this individual has devised up here from this mapping concept. We don't know much about Bohemia other than it seems to appear to be, if it is going to be included within the final version of GTA 6, a very small suburb within the map itself. So pretty cool. But that's a common theme of this map so far as I've been combing over it, is the fact that there's a lot of speculative and theorized parts of the map. So like, take it all with a grain of salt, because as cool as it is to obviously see these different types of suburbs and cities and routes, it is very speculative and is not necessarily a true indication of what the map is going to be. That's why the one from Dupsol is definitely much more, I would say, in my opinion, much more closer to the final version of the GTA 6 map that we're probably going to see within the game. So moving on from Bohemia to the left-hand side of the map, we've got Port Gellhorn, which is one of the confirmed locations that has been formally revealed by Rockstar Games based off what we've seen on the GTA 6 website. And interestingly, as we zoom in here, we do see Yorktown Bay. Now, Yorktown is one of the other unconfirmed locations that was a part of the September 22 leaks based off the description provided by one of the other mapping concepts. Apparently, it's speculated by the community to be a location in the northwest region of the GTA 6 map, likely northwest of Port Gellhorn. Now, interestingly, within this map concept, this part of the bay of Yorktown Bay is located southwest of Port Gellhorn. Interestingly, because Port Gellhorn encompasses this whole area here, even though it's listed and identified down here, which I find is particularly interesting. But anyways, apparently Yorktown While unconfirmed, it might represent a suburban or industrialized area based on leaked references. Now, another interesting thing with Yorktown is that apparently, according to Dupsor's mapping concept version 0.051, Yorktown is located towards the right-hand side of Bohemia, which Bohemia on the mapping concept version of his one was located around here, and Yorktown appears to be located around here. But on this mapping concept, it seems to appear to be located around this area, which I do find that is an intriguing pickup and something that there's two different sort of viewpoints of where it may be situated on the final version of the map. Now, further down from Yorktown Bay, we also do have, according to this mapping concept, we've got Port Gellhorn Port Terminal. Now, this here is another thing that apparently, I'm not sure if it has been confirmed based off the screenshots or anything along those lines. I may have to fact check that. You guys could probably let me know down in the comment section below if you have found anything particularly interesting in relation to that. And we also have the Port Gellhorn Paper Mill, Port Gellhorn Rivermouth, and the wastewater plant. Now, the wastewater plant is something that was featured within the September 22 leaks, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty certain that was part of the leaked files. Zooming back out and coming up a little bit further up north, we also have an abandoned theme park, a trailer park, as well as a Port Gellhorn overlook. And it seems to appear that this route here, from all the way down this part here from the Port Gellhorn Raceway, which was a part of the September 22 leaks. I'm not sure if we've seen this already within the screenshots or within any of the trailers thus far, but we can see further up here, this trail here. If I'm not mistaken, I think this was a part of the leaked footage where Jason is at like a gas station or something like that. I think this may be around this particular area here, but we see further up here, this trail sort of leads into Red Hill, which is part of the right-hand side, which I went into early on one of the other unconfirmed locations. Further up north, we also have Draper Island here. This is something that I don't think was featured within the September 22 leaked files and footage. However, with that being said, this could be something that, based off the individual that devised this mapping concept, could be basing it off one of the real life locations and coming up with a fictional name and placing it within this GTA 6 map here. That's the only thing I could take from that. We do know that Port Gellhorn, interestingly though, is, from what we can understand, based off Panama City in real life. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think Panama City is part of the Florida Panhandle within real life. I could be wrong. Someone can fact check me on that down in the comments section below. Nevertheless though, anyways, Port Gellhorn is obviously one of the confirmed locations within GTA 6. And funny thing is about Port Gellhorn, we know that based off what we've seen of the screenshots, it seems like it's more of like a rundown, industrialized area. So moving on here, further down, we've got the Leonida Prison, the Fort Baxter Air Base, and Montera. So I'm going to go through each one by one. Now, Leonida Prison is one of the prisons that we did see within GTA 6 at the start of the first trailer. We do see where Lucia is incarcerated there, and we do see one of the social workers that works for the Leonida Department of the Corrections Facility, which is further located actually down south here towards Hamlet, based off this mapping concept where Stephanie works at those headquarters there. But further up north, we do see within that prison that she is talking to Lucia within the first trailer. So that is where Lucia is held up there within the Leonida Prison. Now, particularly interesting thing about the Leonida Prison is that we know that based off what we have seen so far from it is that obviously Lucia is seen with her prison inmates. One of the screenshots that we do see of Lucia on the GTA 6 website is that she's seen in handcuffs, and we do see some other prison inmates within that specific screenshot. Based off what we know about the GTA 6 story so far, we can sort of theorize and speculate that this is likely going to be part of the start of the game, where likely Jason is going to bail Lucia out of prison, which we do see within the second trailer. Obviously, we're just basing this off what we have seen within the trailer footage provided by Rockstar, but that's what we know about the prison at the moment, that Lucia is incarcerated there. We know that Stephanie, one of the social workers that we see within trailer 1, is seen there, probably checking in on Lucia. Now, further down, we do have the Fort Baxter Air Base here. Now, this is something that wasn't mentioned within the September 22 leaked files at all. However, this was featured within GTA Vice City, and it is based off the Homestead Air Reserve in real life. Now, interesting thing about Homestead is that it is located further down south towards the Keys area. Within this mapping concept though, it is apparently located in the middle half of this map. Not sure why that is the case, but the mapping concept individual that came up with this has his reasonings. Not sure the reason as to why though. But yeah, in real life, it is located more so towards the south of Miami in real life on the Florida map. Now, we also have Montera here. Now, Montera is not a location that was featured within the September 22 leaks. However, it is theorized that this could be a part of GTA 6 because there is a shot within trailer 1, which similar to one of the scenes I was talking about earlier within where Jason and Lucia are driving by likely a mall that is located on the right-hand side of the map that we do see where the Leonard County sheriffs are passing by, driving through, going in the opposite direction. In the far distance, based off what some keen-eye individual has found on Reddit, there has provided some information saying that Montero Boulevard, Copper City in real life, that it appears to be maybe this could be in the far distance of that shot. Obviously too hard to say because it is a very small, minute detail that we do see within that specific shot of that trailer. Now moving on, we also have Seaview. Now Seaview is an unconfirmed location that was actually part of the September 22 leaks. According to one of the other mapping concepts, the description they provided was, it is located in the northern part of Vice City. I'll more on that in a moment. Right on the coast, it might be a sleepy fishing village or a quiet seaside suburb. Early clues suggest a small community with direct access to the ocean. Now, even though on this mapping concept, Seaview, in terms of the unconfirmed location that we know of it, is located towards, it seems like the east side of Florida or Leonida, and it seems like there we do have some water surrounding it, and looks like an island or something of that sort. Seaview, within one of the other mapping concepts devised by Dubsaw, actually located all the way up here towards St. Joseph. So I find that particularly interesting that this one here on this mapping concept is all the way down south, looks like southeast, but in the other mapping concept it is more up north. So yeah, we don't really know much about Seaview other than the fact that it is likely going to be a location that's going to be formally revealed later on, or could be entirely scrapped. We don't know at the moment. Moving on down south from Seaview, we do have Watson Bay as well as the Grass Rivers, which we do know the Grass Rivers is a confirmed location that we are going to be seeing within GTA 6 based off what Rockstar have provided on their website. But yeah, Watson's Bay is going to be a town apparently within the Grass Rivers region, and that is because we do know that the name is identified and confirmed on one of the water towers that we do see in one of the screenshots Rockstar provides. So that looks like it's going to be quite a small little town outside of the Grass Rivers, even based off this mapping concept here. The Grass Rivers obviously based off the Everglades within Florida in real life, which we have seen throughout multiple screenshots. According to this mapping concept, apparently there's going to be Gator Bay, which I'm not sure how truthful that could be, or I don't know if this is speculative or theorized. I'm assuming that may be the case. We do see within the Grass Rivers that there are a lot of gators that are featured within the screenshots that Rockstar provided. So this could be the case where we do see like a Gator Bay section. So moving on here, we're going to go further up north and we've got Hamlet here. Now Hamlet is another location that is unconfirmed that was a part of the September 22 leaked files. With that being said though, one of the descriptions that was provided by one of the other mapping concepts is that apparently Hamlet is located south of Vice City. They go on to say that apparently this appears to be a small town or rural community. The name itself suggests a quiet, modest settlement, possibly suburban in nature or closely tied to the surrounding landscape, and may serve as a calmer counterpart to the bustling city of Vice City. Now, interesting thing with Hamlet, now I'm not sure if this was the case within the September 22 leaked footage. We may have seen this, that being the Hamlet Raceway. I think that was something that was featured within the September 22 leaks. So it could be getting confused with the Port Gellhorn Raceway, but it was something that I think was part of leaked footage, but someone can correct me down in the comments section below. Further down south, we also have the Hamlet Nuclear Power Plant. So this is something that I think was identified within the leaked files in 2022 as well. It doesn't look like Hamlet's going to be a major component of GTA 6's map. Once again, similar to a lot of the other unconfirmed locations such as St. Joseph, Seaview, Red Hill, potentially Bohemia as well, and Yorktown, which is probably why these locations haven't really been formally revealed yet, because Rockstar revealed the big major locations that we have seen thus far. Could be wrong. Maybe Rockstar are going to surprise us with potentially revealing a fictional Orlando, which I'm hoping for, or maybe we see another state, that being Gloriana, but that's a discussion for another video, but I've mentioned it numerous times here on the channel. So moving on here, further down south from Hamlet, we got the Gator Key. Now the Gator Key, now it's formally revealed officially by Rockstar, that being Leonida Keys, which is good to see that we've got that confirmed. And further down south from there, we've got Key Lento. We know Key Lento was featured within the second trailer, specifically within the bar scene where we see Lucia pulling Jason to go onto likely the dance floor. And we see some other unnamed side characters within that specific shot of the second trailer. And then further down south, we've got, according to this mapping concept, we've got Hindenburg Key, Airstrike Key, Sundown Key, more on that in a moment, and SFUWO School. Yeah, I don't know about these particular locations like Airstrike Key, Hindenburg Key, and the SFUWO School. I'm not sure if these are based off some locations located within the Florida keys within real life. Could be something that maybe this individual that came up with this mapping concept went over, but I don't think we saw these featured within the September 22 leak. Someone can fact check me in on that. But the Sundown Key, and more specifically Sundown, is a location that was featured within the September 22 leaked files. According to a description, once again like we've done previously, apparently Sundown is speculated to be located at the southwestern edge of the Leonida Keys, which matches up here with this mapping concept. Based on leak footage and community theories, it's believed to be a remote town or settlement near the water, possibly with a quiet rural atmosphere. Alright, so moving further up north from the Keys, we've got Vice City, which we know most things about Vice City compared to any other location from the GTA 6 map that we know of so far, from these mapping concepts and just based off the descriptions and stuff that Rockstar have provided of all these locations. Vice City is the most that we know about it. Now here, it's not really mentioned on this map concept, but this is the Vice City International Airport, and we've got so many other locations featured within Vice City here, which the Dupsaw mapping concept version 0.051 goes into detail much more so, identifying the locations and the landmarks based off what we've seen of the trailer, which I think, in my opinion, based off what we've seen of these concepts so far, and this one particularly, that the one from Dupsaw is much more thorough and detailed, because it does go over saying that this part here is the Venetian Island. We've got the various beaches, a part of Vice City, that being Vice Beach, South Beach, Washington Beach. Interesting thing about this one here in this mapping concept version as well is that even further up north, we've only got the Waning Sands that's identified further up north from Vice City. We don't have anything else that's identified here on this mapping concept. Just a night and day difference, really. Like we've got in the mapping concept version devised by Dupsaw, we've got Crosstown, Brickell, Ferry Island, Star Island, Watson Island, like I said, Venetian Island, Pelican Harbour, Bayshore, the Leaf Links Golf Club, which is not on this mapping concept version, but we do know that the Leaf Links Golf Club is going to be returning from Vice City, that when we do see Tommy Vercetti at one of the beginning missions within GTA Vice City. Nevertheless though, we know that Vice City is going to be quite big. Based off this mapping concept, it is larger, I think, compared to the one from Dupsaw as well, which is, once again, that's why I think this one is really, really speculative compared to the other mapping concepts. Not just the one by Dupsaw, but also the one by Giannis as well, which I've covered here on the channel. But anyways, guys, that does bring us to the conclusion of the video, going over this mapping concept devised by Sonaris on the GTA 6 mapping server. I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comment section below and get your thoughts on this, considering it's much more speculative and theorized compared to the previous mapping concepts that we have seen done thus far. But if you went on to enjoy this video and found any informative value, please consider subscribing to the Project Vice YouTube channel, and of course, turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upcoming GTA 6 upload. Make sure to stay safe, have a great day, and I am out. But anyways, guys, that does bring us to the conclusion of the video, going over this mapping concept devised by Sonaris on the GTA 6 mapping server. I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comment section below and get your thoughts on this, considering it's much more speculative and theorized compared to the previous mapping concepts that we have seen done thus far. But if you went on to enjoy this video and found any informative value, please consider subscribing to the Project Vice YouTube channel, and of course, turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upcoming GTA 6 upload. Make sure to stay safe, have a great day, and I am out.